Hey, what's up, guys? This is Vince from WhenInManila.com and WIMPLAYS talking to you about everything Axie. And today we're going to give you 10 tips on how to get your Axie game to the next level. This will help you become pro and maybe get you into the top 100 in the season, at least top 300. Because here is the last season, my first season that I tried. I just started playing Axie then. And it seems, I don't know if this will be changed every season, but it seems in the past, if you're in the top 300, you get some form of reward. Or even if not for the season, just if you're playing regular PvP matches, the higher your MMR, the more SLP you earn. So that way you earn technically more money. MMR, for newbie, standing for matchmaking rank. So the higher your MMR, the harder because you're fighting people in the same high rank. So it's harder to win, so they reward you with more SLP. So here's 10 tips, especially for newbies that might not know these, that can really help take your Axie Infinity gaming to the next level. So again, as you can see, last season I fell barely into the top 100, and I'm still proud, still very happy about that. Currently I had a bunch of bad losing streaks, fell to 300 right now, but I don't know, it's been crazy off season, people going up to level 3000. So here we go. Here's tip number 1. Card placement matters. Let me show you. What a lot of people don't do. Let's get another one. What a lot of people don't do is when they're placing their Axie cards, they just dump it. They just throw it out there. But what you don't know is placement matters. Here's an example of a plant. Now, newbies, when they place their cards out, let's just say you drew these 4 cards, and they just randomly place them out, doesn't matter. But here's the thing, if you think about it, placement matters a lot. And the perfect example is this gas card. It applies poison each time this card is used. And poison for every action does times 2 damage. So if it has 1 poison counter, it does 2 damage every action. So if I place this last, it won't do any extra poison damage because, you know, it gets the poison after the action. But let's say again I have these 4 cards, I drew these 4 cards. If I place poison first, this gas unleashed, it applies poison. My next action, when I play this card, it does plus 2 damage. And then my next action, it does another plus 2 damage. And then my next action, it does another plus 2 damage. At the same time, if I see the opponent has a card that could possibly stun me, and I have these 4 cards, I might play this card first. If you're not familiar with this card, pretty much it's just a defense card. All it does is give you shield. But it still takes an action, and it just doesn't do anything. It just, you know, he does a little animation, but it doesn't do anything. But if you're stunned, it still takes away the stun. So if you see that the opponent has a stun card, you might want to play this first and then maybe the gas card next. So card placement matters. It's much more important, especially when you're climbing the ranks and you know how many times you've lost because the opponent survived by 1 life, by 10 life, whatever it is. So this matters. Placing this first would have mattered. So card placement, the order you place them matters. Make sure you read your cards and understand them. So that's tip number 1. Here we go with tip number 2. Axie position matters. When you're placing a team, you don't just randomly place a position, their positions. This actually matters because you could randomly attack. And I will show you a sample right now. I will with my favorite placement. I'm sure there are other creative placements, but here we go. Okay, here we go. So position matters. I recorded this. I purposely played this level a certain way. Hold on, it's on the next part. This is my favorite position. If you're not familiar, just do this position. Okay? Have 1 in front and 2 up there. The reason that matters is because if you line them all up in the middle, or if you have them split up, here's what's gonna happen. Well, first let me kill this front ones before I show you the example. So here, watch this. I did these actions. Don't worry about my actions. I just did to show a point. So there you go. I did damage to this one because what happens? Axies attack the closest enemy to them. If you're on top, these two are equally distant to the guy in the middle. They're equally distant. But if you're up here, this guy is the closest. You're sure to attack this one, this opponent. But the problem is, so see, I dealt that much damage. It just needs one more final blow. And you want to kill things, because if not, they get to attack, rather than just doing little damage here and there. It's usually better to just kill something. And look what happens. He's going to attack. He randomly attacks one of the two, because they're equidistant, they're equally distant. So now, instead of attacking this one, which he could clearly kill with these cards, he attacked the bottom one, which it doesn't die. And now they get to both attack me and do damage. So that's why position matters. If you're not sure what's the best position, and I have seen some people play different cool combinations of positions, so just understand your axes and play around with it. See what's best for you. But if you're not familiar, this is one of the safer ones, and I've just stuck with this ever since. But yeah, this would be a good starting position for you. Okay, so that's tip number 2. Position matters. Tip number 3 is be patient. If you don't have a good set, if you don't have a good card draw, I would rather just pass. Like this chomp. It applies stun to enemy when combo with at least 2 additional cards. Let's say you don't have 2 additional cards. You don't have a 3-card combo. Unless, you know, there are times where the enemy is like at 10 life and you just want to kill it and this is the next Axie up. Yeah, okay, go ahead with the 1 card. But other than that, you kind of just want to save your energy. Don't just play cards for the hell of it to get it out there. Also because every turn you attack, you have to go through shield. So doing 1 big attack, that way the shield is broken and all your Axie attacks get through, is usually better rather than doing 2 attacks here, 2 attacks there. So let's just say you do 2 attacks this round and the Axie had 100 shield. You did 200 damage, only 100 goes through. And you do the same thing next round where the Axie does 100 shield again. You do 200 damage and only 100 goes through. So in those 2 turns, you only did 200 damage. Because it had 100 shield, 100 shield. As compared to if you just didn't attack that first round, you attacked all 4 cards on the second round. Now, he does 100 shield, you do 300 damage. Well, you do 400 damage, but 300 goes through instead of just 200. So, depends on their on the skills they have, but also the damage that goes through. You get to break the shield and more damage goes through if you save up for it. So be patient. A lot of times being patient, people just want to attack. But being patient, I feel like, especially the higher the level, I see them skipping 2, 3 rounds, sometimes 4. But of course, it still depends on your cards, depends on the opponent. But I feel like I'm impatient at times. I feel like the more patient opponent, because he just waited and saved his cards up and just goes for a big attack later on. A lot of times I lose to that. Or a lot of times I win when I am patient. So patience is a virtue in this game. So do save up your energy. Be patient. Pass if you don't have a good play. Next is... Actually, let's just... let's find something that can play. Oh, here we go. Here's a recent. Ignore the defeat. But count energy. So many times. Here's the energy counting. So, you start with 3 energy. I played a gain energy card and an eat energy card. So now, from 3, I went down to 2 for playing this. This is free. And then I will get 2 back, so I'll have 4 energy. At the same time, he starts with 3. He did not do anything, but he lost 1 energy. So now he's down to 2 energy, and next round he gets another 2. He's at 4. Now, this is really what separates non-pros and pros. Even though I hate math and I have a hard time with this, I'm still trying to get better at it. But if next turn, you know, and down the line, you know, oh, he only has 2 energy. He used up his energy. He only has 2 energy next turn. I can attack now because he can't do much. I know he won't. It helps a lot if you know how much energy the opponent has. it clearly differentiates the pros to the non-pros. So knowing how much energy he has, or at least having somewhat of an idea in the beginning, and people make mistakes, it's so hard to pay attention to the energy all the time. But if you have a rough idea, he probably has 3 or 4 energy this turn. You know, it helps a lot. So counting energy is a big thing. You need to know the cards, if they gain energy, if they lose energy, how much they cost to play. And that comes with playing a lot. You'll eventually get used to the cards. It's hard to memorize all the cards off the bat. But if you're trying to get to the next level, if you're already breaking in like if you're already MMR like 1/900 and trying to get into the 2000s, that might be the difference. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is counting cards. Counting cards is huge. Like knowing what cards they have. Like for me, the spike throw targets enemies with the lowest shield. If the opponent sees that I've used 2 of them already, then he should know roughly that his back end people are safe. Whereas to compare to if he sees I haven't used them, then he might want to be careful on, especially if his tank attacks, he might get, you know, if his tank puts up any shield, because it targets the enemy with the lowest shield. So the pros I play against, when they know I haven't used these cards, they rarely do anything with their tank. Or there are the really good ones who they will put high shield, high damage with these 2, and then they will put a small shield poison card. So when I attack the tank, I get poison 4 times and it does 8 damage to me every turn, every action. So that's really knowing the defense. Another thing is also the pumpkin card. Let's see if I can. There you go. Oh. So the shield cards are a big deal too. Knowing, see, like this sticky goo. Knowing that he has 2 of them, you have to be very careful because you could get stunned. At the same time, with my plant, having the pumpkin card that does 110 shield, if he knows I haven't used it yet, then he might be a bit weary with attacking my plant if he was paying attention. Whereas compared to if he saw that, oh, he's already used 2, and the cards haven't cycled yet. And the cards cycle meaning you have to draw all 8, 16, 24, all 24 cards before you get something you've already used. It's pretty much one deck. They have 8 cards each. It's shuffled together, and you draw from that deck. It's not reshuffled. Your discarded cards aren't reshuffled into that deck until you've used up all the cards. So if he sees he's already used 2 pumpkins, or I see he's already used 2 sticky goos, I should be safe from defense. So it helps a lot. So counting energy and then counting cards. That's tip number 4 and 5. Here's my next tip: is check out the teams of the top 10. If you're still fixing up your team, moving up, upgrading your team, and here's where you go. Here's a great resource. It's Axie Zone/leaderboard. Axie.zone/leaderboard, and it will show you the top 100 players, and you can just check them out. In fact, let's check out number 1. Let's open a new tab, click on that, and these are their Axies. So it shows the team that was last used in battle and the team that was most used in the last 100 battles. So it seems that he has these 2 consistently, and this is a new meta I'm seeing, that they have 2 hardcore tanks that are hard to get through, and then 1 DPS at the end. So I guess he's playing around with this Aqua instead of the very, very soft, what's it called? Beast. But you can just right click them, and then let's see, and it shows you that exact Axie. So if you're trying to upgrade your team, this is a great resource to see, hey, these guys in the top 10, you know, they're using these. So this one, you can see it's a really good tank. His second tank does a bit more damage. They both give him, this one has Vegetal Bite, this one has this guy, so gives some energy. This one, they both disable the mouth cards. This one is Pumpkin. This one allows you to get energy as well, and has a very high shield as well, 80. And he's playing around with this guy for his DPS. Not as strong, but I assume this one, since this was used more, I assume this one got him... Yeah, this is straight up DPS. So this one probably got him into that number 1 spot. So, and then you can compare, you can see, okay, here's number 2. What does he use? And it seems, oh yeah, he seems to have a consistent, is this a Terminator? Tank and DPS Beast. And then you can check number 3. Anyway, the list goes on. So that's my next tip, is you can check out the top players, top 100 players, and see what they use. You can even look at their win percentage. Oh, look at this guy at 3. His win percentage is pretty high at 61%. Here's a 63%. See if there's anything higher than 63. Hope I don't miss anything. But yeah, 63 so far. Oh, 63%. He probably just didn't play enough games. But he could probably move up higher if he plays more games. But let's say 8K. Oh yeah, I've heard of this guy. Oh yeah, he has a consistent double aqua. If I'm not mistaken, he's been playing this for many seasons. This double aqua plant combo. So yeah, might want to check these out. So there you go. That is tip number 6. Tip number 7 is review. So you can go to, I'll show you where it is if you don't already know, and I did it already, but you can pretty much go to your battle log, click here, and you can check for, there you go. So let's go to this one. Ignore the defeat. Let's go to this one. But actually, you should review defeats. You can see, so you can see how'd you win, how'd you lose. You can slow it down if it's going too fast. You can go half speed if the cards are coming too fast. But you can see their cards and you can see their energy. Why did you lose? What did you do wrong? You can pause it, see his cards, review his cards. Highly recommend you go through them, especially for the close battles, or especially when you go through top players, when you think they had really good cards, and or even similar teams to you, but they beat you really bad. It's like, how did he beat me? We have the similar team. What did he do differently? That might be a thing to do, is to review replays. Next tip number 8 is no buffs and debuffs. We actually have a resource on our In Manila Plays, but for newbies, they don't know a lot of buffs and debuffs. Some of them are stackable, like it says here, which means it doubles. So let's say you have 2 attack ups, it's attack 20% and another 20%, roughly 40%. Roughly, because I think it's 20% the first time, and then I don't know if it's 20% on top of that. But roughly 40% attack up if you have 2 of that. Same with speed up, morale up, and then same goes with speed down, where it's also stackable. So knowing what stacks, knowing what these symbols mean, knowing that, hey, this stun, actually, some people aren't familiar with stun on the defense side. They just think stun, they just lose an action, they just lose an attack. But actually, stun also works the other way around on defense, where if the opponent is stunned, my attack ignores shield. See? Next attack misses, or next incoming attack ignores shield. So let's say they have 5 life left, and they're stunned, and they put up like 200 shield, because they don't know that, hey, the shield is pointless, because any attack that comes his way, ignores shield. So they just wasted energy by putting up 200 shield. So, yeah. No buffs and debuffs. That is tip number 8. Tip number 9. Oh, and you can check this out on WIMPLAYS. We have it pinned there. I'll post links as well. Tip number 9 is this. Is know the circle of life. There should be a Lion King Circle of Life song coming. Anyway, know your type of Axie and the Axies they go up against. Like if you're a reptile, you do 15% more damage against aqua and birds and dawns. At the same time, if you're a bird, you do 15% less damage to reptiles. So this is the circle. Three classes. They will do 15% more damage to 3 classes, and they will get 15% less damage from them as well. So know this circle of life. It's very, very effective to know it, to know if you'll do more damage against this class, and know which classes are better to attack. If you, let's say you're trying to kill a certain, you're trying to kill its plant, and you have a bird, and you also have a beast, and they both have 4 cards ready to attack, then you know you might go with the beast instead because it does 15% more damage in case the plant shields and whatnot. So yeah, know this circle of damage for PvP efficiency. And my very last tip is know your opponent's cards. Click on your opponent. Especially newbies, they don't do this. So ignore this because this is a replay, so you can see the cards here. On an actual PvP, you can't see their cards. You only see your cards. But you can click on the Axie, and you can see what cards they have, which is what you should do before you even play any cards of your own. Click on all of their Axies, so you can see, oh, this guy shields. And that's where the card counting I was talking about in the beginning comes in, where it's like, oh, he has this card. Should I go all out right now? But for me, it's I have my spike throw, so maybe I can just save, not try to attack this yet, and try to attack the Axies in the back. Or if I see, oh, he has this card, he's played 2 of them already, I should be okay. He doesn't have a lot of shield def. I might get gassed, I might get poisoned, but that should be okay. I can go all out now. At the same time, you see this guy also has shield. You see that he does the sneaky raid. He can target the furthest enemy, which he did already here, and which is really bad because this guy's my closer. He should be my end game Axie. At the same time, seeing this guy also goes for the back guy. So studying their cards will take you definitely to the next level. So as a quick recap, 10 tips to get you above MMR 2000, to get you in maybe in the top 100. Card placement matters. The order you place your card, very important. Your Axie position matters, where you place your Axie in the team build. Be patient. Tip number 3, if you don't have a good play, just pass. Tip number 4, count your energy. Tip number 5, count cards. Tip number 6, check out the top 10 Axie teams. If you're trying to upgrade your team, maybe you can find inspiration there. Tip number 7 is review replay, like we are right here. Tip number 8 is know the buffs and debuffs. Tip number 9 is know the circle of damage. And tip number 10 is check your opponent's cards. But anyway, if you have more questions, need more info, I'll post links to our Discord. We're always there trying to answer. My whole team, we're always playing. We're streaming every day, and we also stream on Facebook at WIMPLAYS. Do check us out there as well. But if this was of any help to you, please do like, subscribe, comment, and share. But yeah, my name is Vince from WhenInManila.com and WIMPLAYS. Hope that was good for you too. Hope it helps. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.